pursuant to Order 8, Rules 4, 1 and 3. Is the motion subject matter is the urgent need to constitute the governing board of the North East Development Commission. So I am craving the indulgence of my colleagues to consider this motion as urgent, and all further urge them also to allow me take this motion now.
My name is Honorable Goni Bukar Lawan, member representing Burusari, Gaidam Yunusari. I am from Yobe State. I rise to second the motion, a very important motion moved by my colleague, Barrister M T Monguno. I so second, Mr. Speaker.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against it say nay. Ayes have it. Honorable M T Monguno, please move your motion.
Honorable
now.
Speaker, titled Urgent Need to Constitute the Governing Board of the North East Development Commission. The House notes that in October 2017, the North East Development Commission was established to, among other things, receive and manage funds allocated by the federal government and international donor agencies for the resettlement, rehabilitation, integration, and reconstruction of roads, houses, and business premises of victims of insurgency in the Northeast. The House also notes that the mission of the Commission is to lead the reconstruction and development of Nigeria's Northeast, as well as consolidate and replace other initiatives such as the Victim Support Fund, Presidential Initiative on the Northeast Fine, and the Presidential Committee on the Northeast. Further note that it is required that a governing board be constituted to manage and supervise the affairs of the Commission. The House is also aware that the sum of 45 billion naira has been appropriated to the North-East Development Commission in the 2018 budget by the National Assembly. The House is equally concerned that since the establishment of the Commission, no governing board has been established to oversee its affairs, hence the continued sufferings of the people of the Northeast zone, particularly Borno, Yobe, Bauchi, and other states of the Northeast. The House takes further cognizance of the need to have a governing board in place to address the plight of the Northeast in terms of reconstruction, reintegration, rehabilitation, and resettlement of the families of victims of insurgency in the zone. The House resolves to urge the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to, as a matter of urgency, constitute a governing board of the Northeast Development Commission to accelerate development of the zone. The House resolves to mandate the Committee on Internally Displaced Persons and initiatives on the Northeast to ensure compliance and report back within 2 weeks for further legislative action. I so move.
By Barrister Honorable Monguno for the establishment of the South East Development Commission Board. I so second, Mr. Speaker.
Decided to, with unanimity, without a single voice of dissent, first, the establishment of the Northeast Development Commission. As a result of the foresight, the leadership, as well as responsiveness displayed by the Honorable Speaker, who sponsored the bill for the establishment of the Commission. Mr. President, Commander-in-Chief, all equally assented to that bill, thereby constituting the Northeast Development Commission. The primary purpose of establishing that commission, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, is with a view to remedying the quantum of destruction occasioned by the Boko Haram insurgency in the Northeast. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, as a result of the quantum of destruction in the Northeast, today the economy of the Northeast is in a state of comatose. The infrastructure in the Northeast has been destroyed. And that brought about the necessity to have a Marshall Plan that will address this magnitude of problem that was foisted not only on the Northeast, but Nigeria as a nation as a result of the Boko Haram insurgency. And that necessitated the establishment of the commission. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, you could also want to know that even before the advent of the Boko Haram insurgency, the Northeast part of this country, compared to other parts of the country, is the least developed, having regard to the fact that in successive governments, if you look at our budgetary allocations, the Northeast enjoys the least of the budgetary allocation. Hence, the level of development that even led to the insurgency. And for the commission to take off, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, this House, in its wisdom, appropriated the sum of 45 billion naira with a view to remedying the situation. This sum of money is lying fallow, unutilized. So there is a need for Mr. President, using his executive powers, to constitute the board of the commission so that they will hit the ground running and begin the daunting task of reconstruction and rehabilitation of the infrastructure that has been destroyed in the Northeast as a result of the Boko Haram insurgency. Without constituting the board, there is no way the commission can discharge its statutory mandate. So I am craving for the indulgence of this honorable House to support this motion so that Mr. President will constitute the board and the board will hit the ground running and then discharge their mandate with a view to reconstruction and rehabilitating the infrastructure that has been destroyed as a result of the Boko Haram insurgency. Thank you.
Those against it say nay. Ayes have it.